The Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Welcome into the Lotus Place tonight. It is Wednesday, and it is the 1st of June, and I believe it is hurricane season here in the southern region, here in this Texas area. So we are getting ourselves prepared, but we know that it will not be a serious hurricane season this year. Be safe because they've already had our floods here in Houston, and we don't need any more. So please, hurricanes, stay away. But we want to welcome you into the Lotus Place. Come on in, have a seat, sit down, and talk to us. Give us a call and share your thoughts and comments tonight. You can call in 641-715-3660, and the participant code is 549032, and just press *61 when you're ready to share your thoughts. So tonight we are talking about the black image in relation to TV and the corporate media. How are we represented on the television? I know I hear quite a few comments about black females on the like reality shows, and how black females are portrayed as wretched and always fighting or being ghetto or something like that. So how do we counter that? Because we know that image on the reality shows, on some of the reality shows, is not representative of all black females. Now, I remember when the controversy was going on about Jada Pinkett, when she posted her YouTube video about boycotting the Oscars, and there was the hashtag, the Oscars are so white, and people wanted to boycott the this past Oscar show. And then the lady, I cannot call her name right now, but the lady that played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith, she posted a counter video to what Jada Pinkett Smith was stating about boycotting the Oscars and how we need to do our own thing. And what Aunt Viv said in that video, which kind of struck me, it was quite poignant what she stated. And she said that Will and Jada have their own production company, which they do. It's called Overbrook. And she said that if we should have our own, then why don't they produce more black films to show us in a proper light? Which I thought was that was very valid. I can't argue with that, because also what brought this back to my mind, she was working on a biopic of Tupac's life. And so when I thought about it, which it didn't strike me before then, I said, well, Jada Pinkett and Tupac, Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac, they were like best friends, like very, very close friends. And if her and her husband have this production company, then why didn't they put a film out about Tupac years ago? So I kind of started thinking about that. I mean, why do we always have to wait on someone else to produce these documentaries? I love documentaries. I'm always watching a documentary. Oh, I watch documentaries on all kinds of topics and historical events. I was just watching a documentary on the Irish when they came into Ellis Island, and I found it quite interesting. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But so, when can we start with our own documentaries and presenting the images that we want to see on the screen? More of them. I know that the young brother is, let's see, he went to, instead of him going more so to more black people with money, I think he went with Time Warner, I believe, to fund the new Nat Turner film. And so there were some complaints about that, because he had raised quite a bit of money for Nat Turner, but I guess maybe for distribution purposes he went with a larger production and distribution company. But still, in the same vein, the story is being told. So what I would like to hear from you and to discuss tonight is, how can we put out more positive films about us? I want to play this clip that Snoop Doggy Dogg posted on YouTube in regards to the release of the 2016 Roots film. Now, if you remember, Roots was 1977 when the original Roots was aired, and it was, at that time, it was like the highest rating. More people were tuned in to their televisions watching Roots, which, of course, if you know the backstory to all of that, Alex Haley was supposed to have, well, not supposed to, it was found in court that he did actually take that story, the whole Roots story, from someone else. So there are court documents on that. You can take your time and verify that if you like. But regardless of that, the story of Roots, the film, it really touched a lot of us in the black community, and it inspired people to learn more about their history. I know I did, because I was just a child. I was only 6 at that time. So, and I remember watching it and watching it again years after that. So I did not watch this new Roots miniseries, and I more than likely will. But I did not watch it. It aired on Memorial Day. And so what some people have been saying is we should boycott watching that, the new Roots miniseries, because we're being shown so many Slavic type of films, 12 Years a Slave, The Butler, and The Help, and all of these films that basically show us in this how shall I say it, in this state of a lesser state, a state of being without, a debased state. So what Snoop Dogg has said is that we need to have more films that show our accomplishments. And I agree with him on that. But Snoop Dogg, you got a little money too now. Maybe you can start producing some things, some films for us too. You know, get up with some of your boys, Dr. Dre and all your. Why don't you guys, just like you produce these albums and everything, I would say, come together, get your think tanks together, come together and start funding some of these young black screenwriters that may have an idea for a film, have written something, a book or something, screenplay, and start producing these films. If it's needed, do it. The problem is I see that a lot of us, we have these ideas like myself, but we just don't have the right connections or money to do what needs to be done. And so these people with the money, we need the money people to fund the people with the ideas. Same exact thing with the civil rights movement and movements, period. You had people like Dr. King, Malcolm, these people who were broke, didn't have any money, but there were people that were funding the movement, like Harry Belafonte, I believe Diane Carroll, Sidney Poitier, Marlon Brando. These people, they gave money to the movement. So I think that that's something that that's just something that I wanted to share in that case. But let me find this Snoop clip. Let's see, Snoop Doggy Dog. I think he changed his name to Snoop Lion or somebody like that. Whatever. I mean, not whatever, but Snoop Dogg. Excuse me, I don't know what your new name is, but let's just play this clip.
DoggyDiamondsTV.com.
No disrespect, but I can't watch no motherfucking more black movies where niggas getting dogged out, 12 years a slave, Roots, Underground. I can't watch none of that shit. I'm sick of this shit. How the fuck they gonna put Roots on Memorial Day? They gonna just keep beating that shit in our heads or how they did us, huh? I mean, I don't understand America. They just want to just keep showing the abuse that we took hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But guess what? We taking the same abuse. Think about that part. When y'all gonna make a motherfucking series about the success that black folks is having? The only success we have is Roots and 12 Years a Slave and shit like that, huh? Fuck y'all, I ain't watching that shit. And I advise you motherfuckers that's real niggas like myself, fuck them television shows. Let's create our own shit based on the day. How we live and how we inspire people today. Black is what's real. Fuck that old shit. Right, Jules?
Hey, thank you for watching. Don't leave without subscribing.
Okay, so I pretty much agree with what he said, except for the when are y'all going to make a movie about our accomplishments today. We cannot expect for anybody to tell our story better than we can tell our story. So I'm not looking for anybody to tell my story. We should tell our own stories. We have to be our own promoters. You see, let's take a call. Okay. Caller, your mic is open. Welcome to the Lowe's Place. You have a question or a comment? Caller, you're up. Okay. So what do you think about what Snoop Doggy Dog shared? Hey, Featherlight, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Namaste. What's going on?
Namaste. That's right. I shouldn't say hey. I should say namaste. Namaste and greetings. Yes. So did you hear the clip on Snoop Doggy Dog?
Yes, I did.
You have some thoughts?
Well, as the saying goes, the African proverb, it goes something like the lion, something about the lion. The story, the hunter tells the story of the lion, but the story will not be true until the lion tells his own story. Basically, that's what he's saying. So that's what the proverb is saying. So I mean, all this money floating around out here with these stars and rappers alike, and folks like athletes and what have you. We've got the money. We've got much more than we had during the days of Black Wall Street, which I'd like to bring up later. It's the anniversary. But we need to stop complaining about what other people are saying about us. Stop complaining about what somebody else is doing to us. Like we're babies, you know? I mean, do your own thing. Just do your own thing. If you don't like the way somebody is telling a story, then get with some folks. We've got the means, we've got the know-how, the intelligence, the wherewithal, everything. We've got it all, enough to do our own thing, to tell our own stories. But I do not feel that these stories need to just whisk under the rug, because many of our children, they do not know what our ancestors went through. Therefore, they cannot appreciate them. They cannot appreciate anything now. They take so much for granted now. The Jewish community make damn sure that their children know what their ancestors went through. They teach this. I don't know, I'm not going to say that this makes their life better, but they certainly seem to stick together a hell of a lot more than we do, because they appreciate and know their culture. They know what they've been through. They say, we will never forget. We always say, I don't want to talk about it. And it's basically like the elephant in the living room, and even the president ignores it. We ignore it, who everybody else is going to ignore it. The only problem I have, like this Nina Simone story, as much as I love Nina Simone, I don't want to look at their version of what her life was, because I feel that they will not tell the truth. Again, we have to tell our own story. So, in a way, I can understand, you know, where Snoop is coming from, but then again, just do your own thing. Tell the story. It needs to be told, though. It really does. It really needs to be told. Our story of what we have gone, and then it shows what survivors we are. You know, to have gone through so much and not receive any reparations or leg up, as some others have received, like the Jewish community, the Japanese community, and others receive reparations. We haven't received them, but, you know, God, comically, when I don't just whoop-de-whoop, fine, but we're survivors. We're survivors, and our children need to know this.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, because I think that showing this updated version 2016 Roots is good for parents to sit down with their young ones, or even some of these old people, to sit down and watch it that may not have seen Roots or may have forgotten, just for the historic piece of it all. Regardless of, you know, Alex Haley and all the court case controversy around the whole story and the originality of it, but just the historic piece of it all. Even though, you know, here lately people are talking about, they're explaining the whole transatlantic slave trade is something completely different from how it's been told. It was not just just like, we're just going to go over here and get some people to be some slaves. It was an actual war on African peoples. That has not stopped, quiet as it's kept. But that's how, that's what it was. It was just a complete, absolute war, and the people were captured as booty, as it is in war. And that was just a fallout from the quote-unquote transatlantic slave trade. So, hey, Icy Hot.
And what was Shaka Zulu doing?
Hey, welcome in.
Hey.
So we're talking about the black image in the media. You know, the Roots miniseries came out on Memorial Day. Did you watch the 2016 Roots miniseries? You did? What did you think of it? Was it very similar to the original one?
I don't know. It's a hard call on that one.
So,
but what did you think about it?
I have to think about that a little bit more, what I thought about it.
Okay. Well, maybe somebody will call in and share their thoughts. They've watched it. Call in 641-715-3660, and the participant code is 549032, and press pound. So, Featherlight, you have something you want to share with us?
Oh, yes. I have a this is to me what's on your mind kind of thing. I just saw this today, and this is a what I want to share with you is sort of a compilation. Two authors and myself, Mo Barnes from Rolling Out, Yvette Cornell from Times of Israel, and myself, about the recent President Obama has made to give reparations, $12 million reparation to Holocaust survivors. So, tragic as it was, the Holocaust didn't occur in this country. It was a foreign atrocity. Still, Holocaust survivors receive more financial redress than the ancestors of African American slaves. The Obama administration has awarded $12 million for assistance to Holocaust survivors. Obama earmarks $12 million for Holocaust survivors, not one dime for black reparations. The allocation from the Department of Health and Human Services to the Jewish Federations of North to be dispersed over 5 years is part of an initiative launched in late 2013 by Vice President Biden to address the needs of survivors in the United States, of a quarter of whom live below the poverty line. Oh, really? This is a quote from President Obama. My general view has been consistent throughout, which is that I want all businesses to succeed. I want all Americans to have opportunity. I'm not the president of Black America, Obama said. I'm the president of the United States of America. But the program I have put in place have been at those folks who are least able to get financing through conventional means, who have been in the past locked out of opportunities that were available to everybody. Sounds like us to me. According to the State of Work in America, African Americans had the highest poverty rate, 27.4%, followed by Hispanics at 26.6%, and whites at 9.9%. 45.8% of young black children under age 6 live in poverty, compared to 14% of white children. Looks like we've been locked out of opportunities. When faced with record high unemployment in the black community in 2012, Obama didn't allow targeted funds to African Americans as he's doing for Holocaust survivors. He merely pointed out that he's, quote unquote, not the president of Black America, close quote. Now, many European countries have paid victims of the Holocaust. At the top of the list is Germany, as well they should, which paid over $90 billion in reparations. In 2012, Germany gave an estimated 80,000 survivors in other countries a one-time payment of $3,250. This is not the first time America has paid restitution or reparations to the survivors of racial atrocities. In 1998, the United States pledged to pay $1.2 $1.25 billion to Japanese Americans and their heirs. Let me repeat that. In 1998, the United States pledged to pay $1.25 billion to Japanese Americans and their heirs. That amount is in addition to the $1.65 billion previously paid out to 81,278 claimants. Now, when it comes to the United States paying reparations to blacks who suffered oppression and genocide, there is no money forthcoming. Taking aside the argument that descendants of former slaves of the United States are more than deserving of economic justice, what about the 20th century black Holocaust? This kind of put aside the slavery bit for just a second. What about the 20th century black Holocaust? There are, in fact, incidents where many of the survivors are still living. They're still here.
Yeah,
the bombing
what about the survivors from this so-called war on drugs, where all these people, the crack was dumped in the neighborhood
for
generations, and we still dealing with these third-generation crack babies?
Exactly, and CIA has admitted that. They have admitted that they did this. You know, it's no secret. It is no secret. May 31st marked the 95th anniversary of the bombing of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. From May 31st through June 1st, it marks the 92nd year since this Black Wall Street massacre. And we should not call it a riot. It was not a riot. It was a massacre. Credible estimates claim up to 400 people lost their lives. Over 800 suffered injuries requiring admittance to area hospitals. An estimated 10,000 were left homeless. 35 city blocks housing 1,256 residences were destroyed. And 600 successful businesses, black, were lost, including 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, and hospitals. The Atlantic Black Star summarized this in 2014. So these are our actual facts. Let us not forget that many of these attacks were from the air. They're not just people walking around toting guns and shotguns. These were from the air. Black Street blossomed in the Greenwood district of Tulsa as segregation laws. Now listen to how this started in the first place, which shows that we can do this. It started as segregation.
Featherlight, let's take a quick break and then let's come right back with that, because I want you to have enough time to share their story, because it's very important. Thank you so much for bringing this to the Lotus Place. So let's just take our quick break and we will be right back with the history of Black Wall Street.
Make Black Talk Radio your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Black Talk Radio since 2008, providing new black media for the masses.
And we're back here at the Lotus Place radio show here at Black Talk Radio Network, and log on to the page and donate so that we can keep bringing you these live shows here at Black Talk Radio Network. Donate. Let's support black media. Black radio matters. All right. Featherlight, finish sharing with us about the history of Black Wall Street.
Yes, this is the 92nd anniversary of the bombing of Black Wall Street, a very successful African uh, community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It started May 31st and it lasted through June 1st, which is today, June 1st. Now um, let's make it clear how this started, so those who are not aware have a good idea of how this community became so successful and how it was destroyed 92 years ago. Black Wall Street blossomed in the Greenwood district of Tulsa as segregation laws dictating neither white nor black Americans could live in a neighborhood with more than 75% population of the other race, keeping them apart. So this ironically created a system which kept money from leaving the black community. African Americans, by law, could not shop in white-owned businesses. They did not want our money. Money is green, but they did not want it if it came from black hands. So every imaginable business, from grocery stores and clothiers to shoe shops, to hospitals, to churches, theaters, everything became immensely profitable in the black community, known as Black Wall Street, or some people refer to it as Little Africa.
Little Africa.
Schools. Yes, schools. We're talking about our schools a lot here lately, how our children are being manhandled, how they're being miseducated. You yourself, Black Rose, have said that we really could sue the educational system for miseducating our children. But the schools, and we should. We have every right. The schools in Black Africa, Little Africa, offered superior educational opportunities to those that, the whites owned. And the homes and businesses in Little Africa were equipped with indoor plumbing before their white counterparts. See how smart we are? And
if I could just add this, because, there used to be the talk of, when we brought y'all over from Africa, we made y'all lives better and all of this.
Right.
No, because in Zimbabwe, in Great Zimbabwe, indoor plumbing existed, and that's like, oh my God, that's centuries ago, thousands of years ago. I think it's like 4,000 years ago. They already had indoor plumbing.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was nothing new. We actually went back. Yeah, we reverted.
We sure did.
We came over here and go into the outhouses and all of that craziness, and then separate bathrooms and all that foolishness. So anyway, I just had to say that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Greenwood, by all historical accounts, primarily consisted of the middle and upper classes, and by the time of the so-called riots, which they weren't, about 10,000 people lived and worked in Little Africa. Unfortunately, 95 years later, the tragic annihilation of an entire neighborhood has almost been lost to the passing of time. Indeed, the insufficiently named Tulsa riots have almost wholly vanished from school curricula outside Oklahoma. So what about the survivors of the massacres? Don't they deserve reparations from the first black president? Here is some more. The burning and lynching of Rosewood, Florida, 1923. Moore's Ford Bridge Massacre in 1947. Church burnings that took place from 1954 on up to 2015. Illegal and unconstitutional arrest of blacks during the civil rights movement. Jim Crow laws enacted at the state and local levels and ignored at the federal level. The implications and true fact findings of the CIA-linked crack epidemic in black communities, which we just mentioned. The Hurricane Katrina victims, living below the poverty line. The sad part about these tragedies is that this is just a short list It's just a short list of events that are deserving of restitution. What does it take for restitution or reparations for blacks in the United States? Are black Americans the elephant in the living room? It appears to many that the president is the president of everyone except black people. Namaste. And let's take a sip of coffee off that.
Namaste, namaste. Thank you so much. And you know what? Let me see here. Let me get this together right here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that history on Little Africa. And you're right. We don't need. It goes back to what we said at the beginning of the show. We have to tell our own stories, and then we wouldn't call it the Tulsa riots. We would call it what it was: the destruction of Little Africa. That's
right. And someone needs to do a story on that. I mean, now if you want to talk about, you could have both of them. You could have the atrocities done, but before the atrocities, you can show how black Americans were doing it. Like that song says, doing it, and doing it well. Doing it, and doing it well. We were doing it well. Okay?
Very well. And, you know, let me just share this little piece also. Before I get this other little clip up. In Little Africa, when they went into, when the white people of the community went in to raid the black people's homes, these people stole everything from fur coats to pianos to even bubble gum. You got to be really low to go in and want to steal somebody's bubble gum. And they ran these people out of their homes, some of them in the middle of the night, and they were naked, without clothes, because they stripped them down, just tortured them, beat the people, just all kinds of horrific incidents occurred during that the destruction of Black Wall Street, Little Africa. I almost said the riots of Tulsa too. See how they just,
and many of them were after they were left homeless, they had to live in tents. Now this happened in June, right? May 31st in June when it's hot. So they had to live in tents on up through the winter. You know, they were rounded up like I don't know, like they were criminals by the federal government, and not allowed to come back into the community. They had to live in tents, and they were treated like they were the criminals.
Yeah, I think it's just very, very, very sadistic. Also, to and it's just really insane to me. You say that we need to work and do this and have our own and all of this, and well, not have our own. They don't want us to have our own. We need to get out of welfare. We need to work, and we need to stop begging and all that. But when you do have your own, when we do try to have something or build something, then it's destroyed. Yeah. So it's like, what do we do? Let me just
jealousy, envy. Oh no.
Now, does anybody remember this song? Let me play this. This is for educational purposes.
Oh.
You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the
bomb on me.
You dropped the bomb on me, baby.
Yeah.
You dropped the bomb on me. Okay, so that's the Gap Band, right? And some of you probably remember the Gap Band. But it was years before I knew the history of the Gap Band and the meaning of their name and the actual origination of their song. So the Gap Band is an American R&B and funk band which rose to fame in the 70s and 80s with the nucleus consisting of Charlie. You know, Charlie, he's had a comeback. Charlie, Ronnie, and Robert Wilson. The band first formed as the Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street Band. So that's Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street Band in 1967, named after the streets in the historic Greenwood neighborhood in their hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The group shortened its name to the Gap Band in 1973. So Gap stands for Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street. And so that song, that song was around the whole Black Wall Street destruction. So they were actually paying tribute to the people of the town of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what happened to those, what happened during the whole destruction, and people coming in and bombing and all this craziness like they did with the Native people in Philadelphia. So that's why, you know, nothing new, nothing under the sun is new. This stuff happens constantly. It repeats itself, and that's why it's so important for us to share these stories so that when these types of things happen, we're not like, oh my God, well, why did they do that? Well, why would, what? They use the same playbook. It's the same playbook. It does not change. So we have to change what we're doing because their playbook does not change at all. Welcome in, Delta. What's going on, Delta?
Hey, how everybody doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing well, Delta.
Namaste, Delta Cougar.
No, thank you. I'm sorry I chimed in late. Y'all know I had to get the kids down and keep it quiet.
So
we're
glad you got the babies down and keeping them quiet. That's good. What you got, Delta? You got some hot topics?
Ooh, I sure do. Well, you know, I'm really teed off right now about this. It's been all over the news about the gorilla. They had to put the silver gorilla down. And they just all up in a uproar about this gorilla. You can turn it on every channel. It's on every 5 minutes. Where this little black 4-year-old boy, and I got more details today. The mother they had another lady who witnessed it.
Okay, wait a minute, back up, and for people that have not heard the story, so just tell us, like, what happened. It was at the Cincinnati Zoo. It happened, like, Saturday or something?
Yes, it was at the Cincinnati Zoo. Excuse me, Black Rose. It was at the Cincinnati Zoo. A mother and her husband took their 4 kids to the zoo. The mother and the husband was walking, and they stopped just to take a picture. And as they was taking a picture, the mother said, just as they was taking a picture, the mother looked down, and the baby had on crawled. She was asking somebody, have you seen my baby? The mother said the baby was holding on to her as she was taking the picture. The baby turned loose and went and wandered away, and it fell over in there where the gorilla was, where the silver gorilla. They want you to call him the silver gorilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want you to call him the black gorilla. They want to say that.
What color is
he? He's black and silver.
He's called a silver. I think it's called a silverback or something like that. Silverback gorilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he got the little boy, the little 4-year-old. At the time, nobody knew the baby was black at the time. Well, the national media, I put it like that, didn't know the baby was black. And they was all upset about them shooting the gorilla in order to save the little boy, 4 years old. But when they found out the baby was black, they just really went off the chain. They want the mother and father arrested for neglect, Tell me how many people have been somewhere on an outing and your child have wandered off. Tell me how many people who had a child have wandered off just for a second. Just so happened, nothing bad didn't happen, really. So what happened was, now they went pulled up all the daddy criminal history. They went pulled up the mother's job, told them where she worked. They got a petition, got over 3 million signatures, and want to get the people arrested. So now the prosecutor up in Cincinnati is going after these people and try to get them prosecuted and remove their kids from them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's
yes.
crazy.
Yes, they're trying to get the kids removed.
That's crazy. And so
the prosecutor... Go ahead. I'm sorry, but...
No, go ahead.
And
the
prosecutor going to let us know in a few days what he decided to do. But he's under pressure from these white people who don't give a hill of bean about a black child, not even a black man being shot down in the street like a dog. You can't even get them to sign a petition for that. But you can get them to sign a petition for a gorilla. Now, y'all know Delta don't cuss. Delta do not cuss, and Delta is a Christian woman. But I must say, the hell with that gorilla. They should have killed him.
Well, and I was listening to some reports on it, because I actually saw, it popped up on my phone over the weekend, and I promise, I didn't pay it any attention in it. So, I just kind of was like, oh, okay, gorilla, little boy fell in. It's not the first time a child fell into, some...
No, it's not.
...animal. It happened in Cincinnati Zoo before.
That's right. It's happened many times.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, it's not nothing new.
Where they crawl in there, and what is wrong with them?
And it was a little white boy that fell in there before. I wondered, did they try to have this child taken away from his parents? And so my thing is, I was listening to, I think it was one of the zoo officials or something, and so he said that they didn't want to tranquilize the zoo because he was a silverback. I think they said he was a silverback male, so he wasn't a silverback female gorilla and didn't have the mothering or nurturing skills that a normal female gorilla mother would have, because there have been children that have fallen in with a female gorilla, and she cuddled the baby, didn't do anything to the child, and this child did not die, right, Delta?
That is correct.
The child didn't die. They were okay, and so they shot and killed the gorilla. His name is Harambe or something. And so now all these people are saying, well, let me play this clip right quick, and we can come back and share our thoughts on this. Cause
outrage has
stupid.
Continued to grow over the killing of a 17-year-old gorilla after a child fell into its enclosure at the Cincinnati Zoo. And now thousands are calling for the boy's parents to be held responsible. By Monday morning, more than 100,000 people had signed a Justice for Harambe online petition calling for the zoo, law enforcement, and child protective services to hold the parents responsible. The petition is just one of 10 on Change.org related to Saturday's incident. The zoo made the decision to shoot Harambe, a male western lowland gorilla, to protect a 4-year-old boy who climbed into the animal's enclosure and fell into a moat. Western lowland gorillas are critically endangered. The zoo's director told Newsies partners at WCPO the dangerous animal response team decided against using a tranquilizer because it would take a while to set in and would agitate the gorilla. But not everyone agrees with the decision. One petition calls for an investigation into the zoo's actions, while another calls for the state of Ohio to create Harambe's Law, which would hold visitors accountable for actions that lead to the injury or death of an endangered animal at the zoo. As for the boy, he's reportedly home after being treated at a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. For Newsy, I'm Lawrence.
The investigation into what happened at the Cincinnati Zoo continues. Everyone seems to want to weigh in on this around the world through social media. We spoke to some parents here in the tri-state.
Felt terrible for the gorilla, obviously. You never want to see that happen. But then also I feel for the parents.
Parents of young children are weighing in after a 4-year-old boy was injured and a gorilla shot dead to protect him.
I think the parents are negligent. So, if anything, I think it would be there.
I think that, it should bring more awareness that you need to keep an eye on your little ones, especially in places like this.
While parents are split on whether or not the parents of that 4-year-old should be held responsible.
You wonder, where everyone was when the kid got in there.
No one we spoke to blamed the zoo for the child winding up inside the gorilla enclosure.
I don't think the zoo's at fault for that.
They just wish Harambe could have been saved.
I just don't think they should have killed the gorilla. I think they tranquilized her or something, but I don't think he should have been killed.
The zoo's director, Thane Maynard, has said a tranquilizer might have taken minutes to take effect and further agitated the 400-plus pound animal.
You got to do what you have to do. The zoo has to do what they have to do to keep people safe.
Sad situation all around. Praying for the family, hope the kid's okay, but hope it maybe teaches everyone else a lesson that they need to keep a closer eye on their children. Don't let them out of your sight.
While the gorilla exhibit remains closed for the foreseeable future, the rest of the zoo is open. Meantime, this incident had about a half dozen people protesting outside the zoo today. They were on the sidewalk holding up signs that read "Justice for Harambe." There's also a Facebook page now created with that title. A Delhi resident and member of the zoo for 5 years says this incident is making her rethink spending her money with the zoo, saying Harambe's well-being should have been taken into consideration.
These are animals, and they are defenseless, and they trust the zoo to protect them. People do not come above animals when they are trapped in a cage.
She says that she will not be renewing her zoo membership and thinks the zoo's protocol should be changed when it comes to putting down animals.
Wow. Well, first of all, like Delta and I talked about this a little bit earlier, and I shared my thoughts with her, and I'll share them here as well. Number one, like my friend used to say, letter A, I don't even think that y'all should be locking animals up in the darn zoo. They should be in their own
the first place.
habitat. That's number that's number A. And then letter 2, we used to be the damn zoo. They used to lock us up in cages. And have people coming by paying little nickels and dimes or whatever, tickets or whatever the hell, to come in and view black people. So I'm totally against zoos anyway, and if you care so much about the damn animals, then you should be protesting that. Why you got your ass in the damn zoo looking at damn animals that are caged in the first damn place? So
why you got a membership?
That's right. So cancel your membership so that they can close all these damn zoos anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Let the animals go to what they call those little habitats where they have
sanctuaries.
Animals. Thank you, sanctuaries where the animals are endangered. Don't have them locked up.
Put them in the wild.
Zoos. That's
but if anything, it was a poor design of the facility, if you ask me.
If somebody can just fall in there like that.
If you can just get in there. If you can get in there, period. If you can crawl in there. As far as I'm concerned, the zoo is negligent. That's why they had to shoot the animal. That's why they decided to do it.
You're absolutely right, Icy Hot, because this is what
I agree with you.
They saying that the railing they have up is not high enough.
Not appropriate, yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
And seeing that other children have already fallen into these zoos, the moats and all of this, then that you should have revised that whole barrier in the first darn place. And then for them to try to come back and blame this on the parents, I sure would hate it. And I don't want to wish I'm like Delta. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian. But I'm a Christian, and if I would hate for something to happen to those parents that are sitting here protesting, taking time out to protest, to have these
children removed from their parents.
After they've gone through such a terrifying event that you would want to have their children taken away from them. I would hate for you to be in the store and some pedophile come and snatch your child. And let's see how you respond. Do you want
right.
Saying,
what were you doing?
Why weren't
right.
You
what were you doing? Yes.
You know,
yes.
And something, it's sad to say, but something like that, it may have to happen to those exact people that made those comments for them to see
those exact people.
That is wrong. That is
wrong. You want to further traumatize a child by being away from their home after that. See, child protection can be used for anything nowadays, and that's the kind of stuff, get back. When what they ought to be talking about is, why are these captured animals not kept safe by somebody even getting in there, period?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And I must say this. I must say, why would you even bring up the father's criminal history?
Record.
They went and pulled this man's criminal record.
Yeah, right. What does that have to do anything?
This was done when he was a young man, and just so happened before all this even happened, and thank the Lord for this, that his job had just gave him a promotion and honored him and was talking about how proud they was of him, how he's a young man, he's 37 years old, had turned his life around and was on the right path and was doing very well. His wife is an administrator at a daycare facility. Nowadays, calling the daycare facility, trying to get the woman fired from her job.
What? That's crazy.
These white devils going off.
That's so hatred. That's so much hatred. That's so much hatred.
That's horrible.
So if you do this, that to me, that's gonna put them further down. Then you wonder why this design is trying to tear black families apart. And this mother and father have 4 kids. This mother and father have been together for years. She have 4 kids. She don't have them by 4 different daddies. They by this husband. The young man straightened himself up, turned his life around, and doing good. Now you gonna go pull up this man's record and try to come against this man and his wife and have them to lose their job. But I must say that his company have come out. He's a construction worker, and the person that he worked for have come out and stood up and said he is a very hard, good worker.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Why are you trying to destroy his?
Me too.
It just anything can happen.
See, if she were.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Dr. Cook. If she were single, then they would attack that part. They would say that she was a single mother. Yeah, exactly.
And all of this.
Yeah. Living off the government, yada yada yada. They would find something. Here's a married couple been together, both working, paying taxes. It's the way of the world right now.
He turned his life around. They's an example to the young community. He's 37. She's 32. They have turned their life. He have turned his life around.
But you know what? Really though,
they don't want that for us.
No, it really doesn't. To me, really, it doesn't even matter. I don't care if he was a drug dealer right now. No, I don't care if the man was a drug dealer slanging all kinds of kilos, meth, and whatever right now. That is irrelevant to what happened with the child at the
It is. It really is. It has nothing to do
with that. So the whole point of the matter is, it's okay for people like Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland, the little Kimberly Wilson girl, and we can just go on and on and on. It's okay for them to be shot down, found dead, in all of this,
hanged in the cell.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Where were they?
You shoot the gorilla, then you mad.
You got 100,000 signatures.
They have over 100,000 now. Yeah, they have over.
Wow.
I think they had over 100,000 within. I think they said 48 hours. And so the incident happened like Saturday. And so for all of this,
it's over like 300 and some thousand now, probably more than that now.
These people don't have nothing else to talk about. This is apparently a slow news cycle, and so they want to make a big deal out of this silly mess. This is silly. This is very silly. And the only reason why I'm even going to pay it any attention right now is because of the fact of the matter is it's okay for our children to be shot down, but then you upset about the damn gorilla. I'm sorry for the gorilla too, but like I said, he should not have been locked up in the first damn place, and none of this would have happened.
Wow. And I must say this, and I must say the reason I'm talking about it. And I must say the reason I'm talking about the situation is because I don't like the way they're attacking the black family. Okay, you want to go in. This man and his wife is taxpayers. They are working and taking care of their 4 kids. They're not on the system. The man have turned his life around. You're going to go and pull everything up on this man and try to remove their children from their home. What grounds do you have to remove their kids from their home?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because and I must give this example, and I said, me and Black Rose was discussing earlier today. I was pulling my car one day out of my garage. My grandson was in the house. I did not see my grandson come out of the house. Didn't see him open the door at all. I'm backing out. I don't know when my grandson came out of the house, but I just happened to look over to the right-hand side and see my grandson, and it sent chills down my spine. Because when I got in the car, my grandson was in the house. So this is what I'm saying. Kids move quick.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. They sure do.
I was in the store, and I shared this with Delta, too, when we were talking about this story. I was in the store with my little cousins. They were like, I don't know, they were young, 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. And we were in the stores, two of them, Brandon and Bianca. And Brandon, I was holding their hands because my aunt, she was very protective of those little children. And so I made sure that I was holding their hands while we went in the store. Brandon, the little boy, and anybody that has children know how these little 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds can be. He pulled away from me playing. He was just playing and ducked into some clothes. And I couldn't find him for probably like 45 seconds. I was about to freak out because I knew it was going to be hell to pay if something happened to their child. I don't know what I would have done. So, yeah, they can just slip away easily.
And that happened to me.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, Delta, and let's come back with your news topics. And Feather Light is going to share mind, body, and spirit with us. And let's talk about the black image with the media, which this is plays into the whole topic because exactly assassination of our character, trying to take away the child because he slipped away and fell. Come on, seriously. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to the Lotus Place, and we'll be right back.
Make Black Talk Radio your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
No, I'm not a writer. Okay.
Black Talk Radio since 2008, providing new black media for the masses.
What's up, everybody? This is Wayne Dupree. It's the News Ninja. Listen, I want to talk to you briefly about the reboot of Roots. Now, I've been talking about this all day, and I saw something that Snoop Dogg was telling people to boycott, and You're going to find this real funny and strange, but I agree with him 100%. When I was a kid, my parents sat me down with my sister, and we watched Roots. You know, it was a week-long series. We watched it, the story of Alex Haley's family's Roots. I don't think TV had anything like that before, and really hasn't had anything like that since. Now Hollywood wants to do another damn reboot. Hey, Hollywood, the story is played out. Who cares about bad makeup in the 1970s? Who cares if Black Lives Matter hasn't watched it yet and somebody wants to give them an updated version? Let's be clear. This is to restoke feelings based on a story that actually set this country on a path it wasn't expecting back in the day. Now, why doesn't Hollywood create a mini-series of hope? CNN is always doing a documentary, Black in America, Latino in America, but you never see healing wounds in America or coming together as America. Why is that? It's because the media wants to keep us angry and pissed off and attacking color every day of the week. Look at what they're doing to the election. Black vote, Asian vote, Latino vote, women vote, transgender vote, homosexual vote, white vote. People, wake up. This Roots reboot isn't to heal America. It's because they have no solutions for working out peaceful options. I'm asking you to boycott the Roots reboot. It is time to grow up.
All right. And we are back here at the Lotus Place Radio Show. 641-715-3660 is the number to dial. That's 641-715-3660. And the participant code is 549032. Press pound. And Delta, you were sharing some hot topics with us. You want to finish it up with the Harambe Silverback?
Okay, we're going to move on from there. Let's go on because time's pushing, if you don't mind. Let me get the other topics in. Okay, we have a young lady in Alabama, and black girl. She was valedictorian. She had a GPA of 4.65, and she got a scholarship. And this is all over Facebook. It's a big hot topic. She got a scholarship of $2.8 million. This is her scholarship. And the young lady was so proud of it, and she posted on Facebook. And our peoples, I must say, didn't congratulate the young lady. They began to tear the young lady down. And this is what's wrong with our community. Why we can't stick together and
why did they tear her down? Why did they tear her down?
They don't know. They were just talking about she ain't all this and she ain't all that, and she boasting. The young lady wasn't boasting. The young lady was proud of what she had accomplished. And the black people, I must say, peoples of color, began to tear her down. What is wrong with our community? Why we can't stick together and be proud of someone who graduated, valedictorian, scholarships, honor, 24 credits for colleges and stuff. Why we have to tear them down? Why do we have to beat them down? This is what I'm saying. In our community, we don't stick together. In the white community, you can kill a dog, kill a killer, and you can shoot a black person down like a dog, and you can have 100,000 white folks out there, and they'll stick together and say they didn't see who killed them. But we as a people, we cannot stick together. Why we tear somebody down who getting an education? Okay, let me move on.
Well, let me
But
say
I'm
something
but I
about that.
want.
Let me say something about that right there. I think that we do stick together. We do have some unity, but we're never going to have just absolute complete unity because we've never had absolute complete unity. And like the brother just said in the video clip, they keep separating us with all of these different things. And it's just a big, complex picture to the whole thing. We were taught to go against each other and compete against each other. They create these arenas where we are always angry and fussing and fighting and competing against each other. So we will have some groups of us that just not going to be on the same page. They're not even in the same book as some of us.
Right.
It's like, I mean, even within the so-called conscious community, you have them battling against each other. So I mean, it's just like the same thing with religion. So we can say the same thing with religion, since we all believe in God. Like I say, I'm not a Christian, but I believe in God. That don't mean I don't believe in God. That don't mean I don't pray. That don't mean that I won't go into a church. But I don't call myself a Christian, though. Not that kind of Christian that people call themselves a Christian now. I'm not that kind of. I don't get into that stuff. But that, again, it goes back to what I said. That don't have nothing to do with me. I'm not an atheist. I do believe in a God, a higher being. I believe in a mother, father, God. I believe in all of that. But it's the same thing with religion. So why is it that the Christian religion can't all come together under one? Why we got to have Baptist, Southern Baptist, evangelical, Protestant, all of that mess? Why we got to have all that? Yeah,
Catholics, everybody feels that one is better than the other.
Yeah, Church of God in Christ, Church of Christ. I mean, why can't it just be God?
Jehovah.
We believe in God. We're the Church of God. We all believe in God. So, I mean, it's the same exact thing. Why can't the Christians have unity? Why can't the Christians just come up under one umbrella and say, we all believe in God? And you just move around from different churches. Why can't you go to the church in your neighborhood? Why you got to go to the church all the way across town? Why can't you support the churches down the street from you? So, I mean, we can say the same thing about religion. It's just not going to happen like that. There are always going to be different groups of people that want to do this, to think this. That's how the Protestant religion started. They wanted to protest, thus the name Protestant. They wanted to be separate. They wanted to do something different. So, I mean, it just is what it is in that whole realm of things. But those are my thoughts.
Okay.
That was a good point, though, Delta.
Glad I'm rushing because I know we move on time. Okay, the next hot topic is we have a valedictorian, and the first black, she graduating from the May of School of Dentistry. This school was created, listen at this now, it's a surgical school for dentists. It was created back in 1840. They had this school been in existence ever since 176 years. She is the first black person to ever graduate from the first dentist school at this school. And they said when this school was created, it was a segregated school. They didn't allow any blacks to attend this school. So they really shocked that she made valedictorian, and she was very outspoken. She was very good at what she did, and she is a dentist surgeon, and she is the first black woman to do this and made valedictorian of this college. So we would like to give a shout out to her. So,
that's great.
That's wonderful.
And so those are my hot topics for today.
Thank you, Delta, for those stories about those valedictorians. And I have a valedictorian story. I thought that this was what you were going to mention, because I did see this a little clip on this story. There's another young black female valedictorian. My aunt was valedictorian of her school too, as a matter of fact. So I mean, that's just it's not uncommon for us to be valedictorian. But this young black girl, she was valedictorian of her school, and I'm not sure if she was able to give her valedictorian speech or not, but I know that there was some protesting about her being able to give the speech because she apparently wrote a poem that had the word nigger in it. So there was some, I guess, parents maybe saying that she shouldn't be allowed to give the valedictorian speech. And I think she should have. I really think that she should have. Her poem does not have anything to do with her scholastic achievements. So,
and I must say this: she should have been allowed to say it because the black rappers say all day long in their music, niggers, hoe, bitches, slut, and they be so happy to be proud to be called that in order to be in the video. Oh, they be so happy. So if she was going to do hers in a positive way, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I must say, let me give this one more. I just thought about that, and I must give this shout out. There was a single black mother had a child when she was 18 years old, and her son graduated this year. And it's on Facebook. Y'all pull it up. And this is how I found out about it, because it went viral. And the mother gave her son graduated from high school. I just saw the preview, so I can't really tell you where it's at. But I'm just thinking about it. And she had this child when she was 17. It was a boy. He graduated from high school, and he graduated with honors. And the mother was telling the son, and somebody filmed it and put it, and it went viral. The mother was telling the son, I worked hard in order for you to accomplish what I couldn't accomplish. And the mother began to cry and weep and said, as a single parent, she gave her son a brand new car for graduation. And she began to tell her son, I want you to have all the opportunities that I never had. I never had the opportunities because I was a single parent, but I refused to let me be a single parent to hold me down and let that be a hinder to me. So I want to say this to single parents. You know, you can be whatever you want to be, and your kids can be whatever they want to be, but they have to want it. But my hat off to the mother who inspired her son so and began to weep and tell her son, don't make the same mistakes I made. You can be anything that you want to be. Even when I had you, I didn't let this stop me. I wanted you to have what I couldn't have. And y'all must see the video, because if you see the video, you're going to begin to weep yourself, because when I saw the video, it was very touching. So single parents and your kids can be anything they want to be, but the key to it, you got to want it. And
I really like your story. I like that story, but I sure wish she had bought him like maybe a condo or a small home, something that had some value to it rather than a depreciating automobile.
But I think he got a scholarship or something to go off to school.
I understand, but my thought is still the same. We waste too much money on things that depreciate in value rather than buying things that appreciate. Like you waste your money on clothes, we waste our money on cars, a bunch of cars, and we should be putting our money into real estate and something that's going to grow, not, that's just consumerism at its highest. Yes. People don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too, Aisha. But what touched me?
But I'm proud of her and him. But I just wish they would get to the appreciation stage of buying stuff rather than the depreciation.
Yeah, we have to retrain ourselves. I think that's part of it. Let's just retrain ourselves. Like Delta, we got to get you started with your real estate points. We really need
Okay, I'll be ready for that next Wednesday. I promise I'll have something on real estate next Wednesday.
Yeah. The grandbaby's out of school now, so you should have a little time, huh?
Yeah, they'll be going to summer camp. They'll be going home and going to summer camp.
Yay, that's so good.
Yes,
Going to the summer camp.
that sounds real good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
You know those
black
children aren't going home.
They're not going nowhere, but right over there to Delta.
Right there.
No, the summer camp. The mother put them in summer camp. Where
you gonna be going over there picking them up. I don't care who put them in there.
Right. When they get out of summer camp, they coming over there. They coming straight over there. No, Delta.
Well,
and that's a good thing. That's what family is all about, Granny.
But I'll be in your neck of woods in 2 weeks, and you won't even be there. I'll be in Minnesota in 2 weeks.
I
and you won't
sure
even be
won't.
there.
I'm coming south, and you going north.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's talk about black people and our image on television and in the media. You know, it's always some controversy about how we're portrayed. For instance, with the Slavic slave movies, some people are tired of seeing them. Some people say we need them. Some people don't like the gangster films. Some people love them. Love the films. Some people, I was listening to a radio show earlier, and so people were talking about boycotting the Roots movie, but there was no boycott on the movie, the series Power, which highlights the life of a gangster, a few gangsters. It's like a gangster movie. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I like the actors in it. What's his name? Omari Hardwick, and the other little young lady. I actually like Omari, but he plays a drug dealer that's trying to get out of the street life, like many of them do. Some of them really do try to go legit. Like I'm finally watching The Wire now, and just watching The Wire, which was a series about Baltimore, the crime and the drug life of Baltimore, and it just shows how life is, and you just caught up in all of that. A lot of these people, they don't want to live that life. They are born and raised in that life, and that's all that's around them. And the young children are forced into that life. If they're not, then they're bullied, they're killed. The parents have to try to move them out of the city. How many stories have we heard about in Chicago where the people were moving their furniture out, and somebody gets shot? They're trying to move out the neighborhood because they're sick and tired of people shooting, and they get shot while they're trying to move. So things like that happen. So, but the black image on TV, for instance, Empire.
But I must, you know what? Now my thought is, I saw Snoop Dogg on Facebook, and I saw what he said, and I agree with him to a certain degree. Now my take on Roots. Now, I probably won't sit down and watch it. I know I won't. I'm going to just be honest, I won't. I may glimpse at it, But I say this. I think the younger generation should see. And the reason why I say that, because they don't really know what the people have went through. Roots was done 20 years ago. So people who had 20 years ago didn't know about a lot of the history, learned it from Roots. And now, if we think about it, look at the kids today. They're not teaching none of our history in school. They're not teaching nothing about what they done to us. They telling the younger generation that we was the problem. We is always complaining. So the younger folks need to see what went on. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think
we are the problem. We the problem, because they don't need to teach our children nothing. We need to teach our own children our history. They're going to tell lies. They ain't got it straight.
LeVar Burton is the one who wrote the book, is doing it. The one that played Kunta Kinte, he's the one doing it. So I think he said that he wanted to, he said they got a lot of research. He said because really, he was saying that really the slavery, the people back then, they really rode horses. They wasn't running through like that. He said that tribe, he said they did research on it. That tribe that he was in, they rode horses. So in his movies, they riding horses. So I think the younger folks do need to see it. The problem is, I think the young folks have no idea what really went on. They really don't. So I think it should go on from generation to generation. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
They need to read their own history, do their own research, and come to some conclusions about it. And that's part of it. I'm not saying don't show them that they shouldn't have that, but I don't know. Is it? Yeah, I think you were. That was what you were asking about earlier. Black Rose. What's that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't like to. Me personally, I'll just say I don't like to see a lot of it because it irritates me. And that's just me being an older person, having gone through the civil rights movement and fought and marched and tear gassed, and then to be doing this, have this be here all over again, and then fling back to, those days. I personally, just emotionally and in my head, just can't take a lot of it. I got them marked out of that one movie they had. I can't even remember what the name of it is, unfortunately, because people were laughing in the wrong places, as far as I'm concerned. And it was mostly a white audience and a sprinkling of black people. And I'm thinking, like, what is wrong with these crazy people? It was one of them.
Bruce, the 2016 version of it, and I'll watch it. I think Larry Fishburne is in it, and Anika, what's her name? She's in it. I like her, and a few other people, and I'm definitely going to watch that Nat Turner film that's coming out. However, I do think that we do need to see some other images. I would love to see, and see, there's where the problem lies. It's always just focused on the whole slavery issue.
Exactly.
I think that's what Snoop was trying to articulate, not just the contemporary accomplishments, but also the accomplishments prior to the time when our history was interrupted, like Dr. Clark says. Our history was interrupted. So
take them to Kemet. They don't have no Kemet stories in there,
Exactly.
They don't have no Aswan Dam where they hid all that history under that dam, and they told them what was going to happen to Africa if they put that dam up there in Egypt, and sure enough, drought came, and people began to starve and just had to migrate and move around from the rural areas of Africa, and that's just what they do, strategically destroy. Kill, destroy, wherever they are.
Absolutely. So I would say that I personally, and maybe I should try to write a screenplay about it. I don't know who will fund it, and that's another problem. It's so difficult for us to get the funding for these films. Even what's his name, the one that dates black women. Oh God, he did the Red Tails film. He said he had trouble trying to get money for that. He's a white man. He had trouble trying to produce a black film. So that's the whole problem there. But people like Tyler Perry and Oprah that have these studios, and Will and Jada Smith, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe because I'm not an insider, but I would like to know.
Well, they want to keep having their studios. They'll get on the attack. If they'll get on and attack them, if they do, what they do too. That's just how it is. It'll be another Rosewood up at Tyler Perry Studios and the OWN.
All of a sudden, he won't be able to make those Mud Deer movies and anything else.
There you go. You'll keep them laughing. As long as you keep them laughing, don't get no serious history stuff in there, and you're all right with us. We'll let you do that.
Yeah, just keep shucking and jiving, and you can continue being on the television. So say for instance, Kerry Washington on Scandal. I know a lot of people don't like Scandal because her character was dating the president. she has a relationship with the president. So, what are your thoughts on Scandal, films like Scandal or Empire or Power or let me see, Blackish? What about Blackish? I don't hear people protesting about Blackish. I hate the name of that, Blackish. That sounds kind of like stereotypical to me. I haven't watched it, so I really can't critique the show.
Yeah, I have never seen that one.
Yeah, it's called Blackish. Anthony Anderson is in it, and what's her name? Diana Ross's daughter.
I know.
What's her name? Featherlight.
Tracy. I can't think of her name. Yes, Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy
Yeah.
Ellis Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be like a hit show, but I've only seen maybe like
my white neighbor loves that. My white neighbor told me, she said, you should watch this, Hattie. It's really good. I like it. It's Blackish. It's called Blackish. I said I've never at that time I hadn't heard of it. I hadn't seen it. What?
They love to see us perform. They love to see us
it's like
act
that,
crazy.
huh?
But no, they play a very successful black family.
Yes, I know they're successful. I can tell they're successful.
They deal with a lot of social issues too now.
Oh, they do? Like what?
Yes, because I've seen them on Good Morning America, and they asked them about it. They say, "Oh, we see y'all deal with a lot of social issues," and they said they wanted to bring something different to the table.
And and I think that's great. And I could also say that I know people don't like Empire, and I do watch Empire. I watch Empire. Empire brings a lot of social issues. Empire has a constant theme of family. I mean, every single show from the first show to this last little season finale focuses on family. And if I had the time and thought of it, I would actually write down how many times they mention family, how family needs to stick together in that show Empire, but people don't. They miss that, and because our minds are so perverted here in America, all we can focus on is the sex part, just like with Scandal. All they can think about is this black woman sleeping with a white man. All people can think about on Empire is the gay part, and that's not even really shown a lot in that film, no more than what they show on anything else. But Empire focuses on black people sticking together, working together, and family. This show really does focus on that. There's a scene
It really does.
It really does. What's his name? Terrence Howard, who plays Lucius Lyons. His son is married to a white woman, and in that film, he said in Empire, he said to his son in one of the shows, the minute you married that white woman, I couldn't trust you with the empire. So they focus on black power and family, but people miss that because they hear people talking about the gay son. That's all they hear because your minds are so perverted. So that's all we ever think about. We zoom in on that, just like with Scandal. People don't watch Scandal because Kerry dating a white president, but you miss how politics work. They outline how politics work. And that's why I like Scandal. I don't care nothing about that her being with a white man on TV and all of that stuff. I look at shows where I can learn something. I look at it more so than I look at the sub themes and the subplots. That's what I look at. And I look at the hidden messages, good and bad. That's what I look at. I watch shows that I can learn something from, that can enlighten me. And so with my eyes, I look at things completely different from how some other people may view something. So my thing is, like with Power, all of these other little gangster shows, how come black people don't rise up and say something about that? Well, we don't want to see all this shooting anymore. Why don't black people say something about that? How come we can't say anything about our image being portrayed in that way? You see? So that's my
and actually, Snoop Dogg has portrayed a lot of negative characters in movies that he's been in before. He's portrayed like usually a drug dealer. It's usually some kind of street scene. that he plays, that's sending a negative message. You know, too often times we're too hypocritical. We like this, but we don't like that. But that has the same thing that this has in it. You know, we pick and choose. We pick and choose, like you said about too many of our black men and some of our black women too. We're folks, oh, she black, she David. It's a movie. It's character. There are many movies where the black man is white woman, and I see that a lot. But nobody has any problem with that. They don't have any issues with that whatsoever. It's like it's what's good for the gander is bad for the goose. I mean, if you're going to focus on interracial sex, then focus on interracial sex. Don't just say, well, the black woman is just sleeping with the white man. Well, it should go both ways. If you're upset about that, then look at in the full form of it. Don't just damn the black woman. You know,
exactly.
I get past all of that. Some people want to down the character herself. You know, she's playing a role. Look beyond the role. Look at how politics are played. Look at how it shows in the movie in Scandal how the president really has no pull. The president is kept out of a lot of things that are going on. His chief administrator knows things that he doesn't know. It's really quite interesting how politics are played, how laws are created, how wars are created over simple things. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. I get past the second part.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get past the second part.
Yeah, I get past all of that too. And gosh, she made me think of something that I wanted to bring out about Scandal. Also, it'll come back to me. But I love the whole politics part in Scandal, and I think this may have been what I was thinking of. But also in Scandal, the image of the black woman that I see. And let me ask you this, Featherlight, because I know you watch Scandal. Who runs everything?
You're going in and out of Black Rose.
You know what? I think it's something. I think it's something with this. It's something going on because you're going in and out too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's something going on. But who runs things on Scandal? There are two people that run things on Scandal. Who are those two people?
I didn't hear.
Who are the top people that run things on Scandal?
The mother and the father.
On Scandal.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Oh, God.
Oh, Kerry Washington and the president. Okay.
Okay, but not the president, but it's somebody else. It's somebody else. There are two people, Kerry Washington, and who else? Who else runs things? What the show is portraying on.
Oh, Kerry Washington and her father.
Exactly. Two black people.
Kerry Washington and her father, two black people. They run the whole political scene. She's a black woman. I mean, when she came up in that White House, when she comes up in that White House, she tells the president what to do. He is lost most of the time. She tells him, you need to do this, you need to do that, and he does it.
Exactly.
He always comes to her for advice.
Right.
What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Right. And
off the top of her head, she can roll out.
That's right. That's right. And her father is known as Command, and he's known as Command because he runs the world. He's the man. He is the man. And so that's another thing. Now that's an image that I do like on television because it's showing the power that we really, really have when we know who we are and whose we are. And that's why I enjoy that film. It's written by a black woman, created by a black woman, and so she's showing a powerful image of a black woman and a black man. I love that, and I would love to see more black writers that will write films like that that's showing a black woman in power, because she is in power. She is in power. So those are my thoughts on Scandal and the Empire show. But like, what other shows? What are y'all thoughts on Scandal, Empire, Blackish, or anything else? Because I don't really watch a lot of these shows, so I don't even really know. But I would love to hear, like, you know, what are y'all thoughts?
And I must say, I'm guilty. I don't watch none of them.
That is a good thing, though, really. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I really don't. I'm more of a political person. I watch a lot of politics.
Yeah,
you would learn a lot from watching Scandal.
Absolutely.
You would watch a lot from watching Scandal if you like politics, because it's all about politics.
Yeah, yeah, and even like House of Cards. I was listening to someone on the radio also today that spoke about how they would like to see more black images on their show, House of Cards, another political drama type of show. I love House of Cards because it deals with politics. I mean, any kind of show that's going to have some politics and election stuff in it, I'm on that. Street life or politics, I'm on that. I love anything dealing with that. So like you, Delta, I don't watch a lot of TV and a lot of shows, but I will have a few that I watch just for edutainment, so that I can try to see what I can learn and glean from it, you know. And
I don't watch any of those either, and I haven't ever seen Blackish, and I've never heard of a couple of those you mentioned.
Now, and
I basically watch the
news.
Ahead. I basically watch the news, but on Tuesday I do watch those two that come on that, what is it, Tyler Perry and on Oprah Winfrey Network, called Haves and Have-Nots.
Have-Nots. Yeah, that's
and,
what I was just saying.
And also, if Loving You Is Wrong, I watch If Loving You Is Wrong, Haves and Have-Nots, and then it's another one with a couple on these pro ball players and retired ones. What is that one called?
I don't know.
Where the little girl is a gold digger and she divorced the guy, and they have a business, the three of the men do, and one has a salon. I watch that from time to time.
Oh, you know what? I know what you're talking about, and it is a cute little show. They have a barbershop or something like that, barbershop and salon, and
it's a salon. I don't know about the barbershop.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking about
it'll come in what it's called.
That one don't have no barbershop. They mostly like kind of run a radio station, but it's more like a sophisticated TV station. What Miss Hattie talking about?
Okay.
I mean, what Icy had talking about. It's mostly kind of like a sophisticated TV station.
But I like this one called The Haves and the Have-Nots.
Oh, the
because
Haves and the Have-Nots.
It shows and I like the one called If Loving You Is Wrong, because both of them show all of the corruption in the justice system, the police department. It really shows the corruption.
How crooked the police are.
Is that on Loving You Is Wrong?
Yeah. Right, and both of them really. If Loving You Is Wrong is more like police corruption, but then the haves and the have-nots is more about, you know, the old money in the South, and then the judge's corruptness and how they stick together and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
you're right. I
was actually thinking about purchasing a Hulu just so I can watch Have and Have Nots, because the episodes that I have seen on Have and Have Nots, I love it. I mean, I just think it's a good show, good writing.
And it's about life. You know, both of those are about life. You know, and people's decisions they make, and you can just see it unfolding, and it's realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend girl told me watching the haves and the have-nots is a sin.
Is it? Yeah.
No, and another thing.
Probably it's so much.
Why are people protesting that little gay boy on there? Yeah, and it's a gay character on there. I don't hear people complaining about
Perry,
Have and Have
he wrote that show. He wrote that show right there. He have you on the edge of your seat with that haves and the have not. You don't know. You don't know what they expect.
Well,
and the white
let me. I'm with Black Rose. Let me interrupt you, Delta Cougar. You're very excited about this show, the haves and have-nots. Why do you not have a problem with the gay scenes on that show? Because there's gay.
Yes, that
gay
little boy is gay
in there. Yeah, he's very gay, and you know he sleeps with men. So why don't you have any problems with that? But you have problems with it on Empire.
They never
gay is gay.
Yes, they are gay. No, they are gay. But
which one is sleeping with it? Which one is sleeping
you
with
ain't
them?
never seen that. You never seen that.
But you know what they do. You know what they do.
No.
Who?
No.
Okay, tell me about.
You know what they do.
Who
is the one?
The black one. I can't
the
call
son.
his name.
The son is gay. The son of the judge is gay.
Okay, but he's a virgin. He's never slept with anybody.
You've never seen him kiss anybody? You've never seen him kiss another man?
Never.
And so it's still the whole.
But I think he's getting ready to, because I think he's just.
I'm getting ready. This is my next word. Don't wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, wait for it, because
if it's
a popular TV show, the people who are running the Hollywood business, a lot of them are gay, and that's what they are pushing. So just wait for it, because it's coming.
And even if he's not kissing anybody, it's still in the whole storyline. So that's what I would like to hear. So, I mean, is that good or bad in your opinion? Like, should they?
That's just life. That's just life.
It's life.
Exactly.
That's just life. Everybody
life.
chooses where they're going to be and what they're going to do. That's just life.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
My point exactly. So it's the whole gay thing, period. Whether they showing them kissing or not, they still letting you know. They could have written in their character as a straight man, but they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you didn't write him in as a straight man, but you wrote him in as a gay man? Because like Icy Hodges said, it's life. So on Empire, it's life. It's life.
Yes.
The guy, the son, same scenario. The son of this high profile businessman is
businessman.
Same thing. So once again, we kind of, we back to what you said, Delta. We don't have unity. Now. If we're gonna downgrade Empire, then we need to talk about having
Empire. To me, is too far out.
Have you seen it?
No, she hasn't seen it.
I've seen.
How can you say that when you haven't seen it?
This is what I'm going to tell you. I've seen a few shows of Empire, and when I seen it, I didn't like it. It was just too far out for me.
The gay part, or just the whole show itself?
Just the whole show in general. No, not just the gayness.
So
just the whole show.
What them talking about, family unity, is that a bad thing?
No, family unity.
It's very busy. It seemed to me. I've only seen it probably 3 or 4 times.
I mean, it's just too far out.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in that show.
It is a lot going on in have and have not.
My family to be like that.
But you can keep up with them. You can't keep up with Empire stuff.
No, y'all can tell y'all's preferences. You have your preferences.
I don't think it's a preference. I don't think it's a preference for me. I can't keep up with Empire. I don't know what the heck's going on half the time.
Because you're not watching it every week, right? Right?
No, I've only seen a few shows of it. I don't have time to watch one soap opera or two, and it's all on the same night. And I can't catch them either.
Yeah,
that's right. That's the issue.
But they're easier for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's easier to follow. It's easier to follow Kerry Washington's show. It's easier to follow the haves and the have-nots. It's easier to follow If Loving You Is Wrong. I mean, you can step out of the room and still come back and catch it right. But Empire, man, if you blink, you done miss some stuff. You can't find it nowhere. You can't. It's too complicated maybe for me. I'm a simple-minded person. To me, that's the way I would explain it.
To me, it's just too far out. And all of it. Not just in the gayness, it's just in all of it. It's just too far out for me.
Okay.
I don't see it as far out. I just see it as just can't follow it very easily.
And yeah, so your opinion is you just have difficulty following it. It's just too much. Like you say, if you step out the room, you miss something. But then Delta, you say it's just too far out, all of it. Okay.
I don't know if anything would be too far out on TV because that's life. All that stuff is life. That's just life. Whatever's going on, that's just life. And I can probably tell you somebody that I know that's going through that, been through that, or told me about it or something.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Life is very far out. The things that people are having to deal with and living through, people losing their homes, that's far out. People being strung out on drugs, that's far out. People having multiple sex partners, which is shown on TV a lot, and that's another thing.
Wait a minute, male and female.
Exactly. Now that's what I call far out. When you're promoting people having multiple sex partners on television, I don't hear people complaining about that. You know, like
you know what? That's why now I'm gonna be honest. This is why I stopped watching. I'm not perfect. God knows I'm not perfect. But the reason I stopped watching soap opera, and this what really made me stop, because what you just saying, Black Rose, there was The Bold and the Beautiful, where the girl was married to the son, then she turned around and divorced one brother, married the other brother. Then when she went to the daddy, I said, okay, it's time for me to stop it.
Yeah,
and I stopped it. That's
and you know that's life. You know that's life.
I know because I know a black man right now that didn't raise his son, and he moved back home, and he took up with his son's girlfriend, and the son have 3 kids with this girl, and the daddy took up with him, and now he the daddy and the grandfather.
Oh, God, yeah. Let me see. So before we close out, Featherlight, do you still have another mind, body, and spirit for us? You have enough time for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure do. First, I want to do the official quote that I was trying to do earlier. It's a Sankofa quote. It says, "Until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter." So the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Now, here are 10 things to get rid of to move forward in life. Number one, you don't have to justify anything you do. Why? You tell me that all the time, Black Rose. Thank you so much. Why? Because why do you do it? Why do you do it that way? Why did you do that? Why do you always do this? Why do you do? Because you feel like it. Period. You don't have to justify anything to anybody. It's what you want to do, and you do it because you feel like it. Number 2, processed carbs. No nutrients, no enzymes, no antioxidants. We are sometimes too impatient to nourish ourselves with the proper food that we need to be healthy. We want to microwave everything. We want everything fast, everything quick. Microwaving food. I know some people microwave, but I just want to give you this little bit of information. It destroys and depletes the life energy from your food, leaving it completely dead and lifeless. Microwaves invented by the Nazis in order to provide a method of cooking for their troops during World War II. And the United States didn't really perform the extensive research they should have performed on it, and the Russians did, and they actually banned the microwave. Number 3, relationships. In the movies. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a Disney movie. Stuff happens. As they say, shit happens. Let go of your expectations in relationships. People can reveal themselves in a more authentic way if you just be yourself. Don't go into a relationship expecting this, expecting that. Stuff's going to happen.
I used to always do that.
Me too. Number 4, we are only here to learn from experience. You nor the world is perfect. You are not here to be a saint. Let me repeat that. You're not here to be saints. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. We need to learn from them. For instance, if you date a guy or a female and it doesn't turn out like you thought, think of them as your love coach. They came through your life to teach you what you want and what you don't want, and to strengthen you. If some guy does this or does that, does this or that, think, okay, now that's something I don't want. Or now, in the next guy, I like the way he did that. I'm going to look for that. So use these as love coaches. Don't go around hating them, holding grudges, trying to get revenge, and all of that. Let it go.
Let it go.
Number 5, abandon fear-based media. As you know, that's what we hear a lot of, fear-based media. Don't promote fear. Has it changed your life in any good way? Let love guide you, not fear. Number 6, you are not here to be ashamed of how you think or how you feel. Own what you speak about. You're not here to make everybody grin. Don't be ashamed of how you feel about something. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Those that matter. Me too. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Those that matter won't mind. Those that mind don't matter. Yes. Be true to yourself first. Let the rest follow. Number 7. True to you.
True to you.
Number 7. Abandon the notion that there is someone out there to complete you.
That's a good one.
I need to find a man to complete me.
I need to find somebody that's going to make me happy.
Make me happy.
Make me happy.
If you're not whole, they will not make you whole. Don't walk around with your hands out begging someone to love you. Love yourself 100% first, and the rest will follow. Number 8, abandon the idea it should have happened by now. It should have happened by now. Why am I not where I'm supposed to be? You are exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons you need to learn.
Right.
When you say, this shouldn't be happening to me, you are actually creating a resistance. Resistance makes things stronger. Embrace the things that are happening to you, as they are a catalyst to make you a better version of yourself. Number 9, abandon the notion to be like someone else. Oh, I wish I could be like her. Oh, I wish I could be like him. Look in the mirror and say, this is you. They are already who they are. No one can catch up to who you are, where you are right now. Right. You're supposed to be where you are because you're supposed to be learning something right now. Number 10, the more you relax, instead of trying to control how other people see you, how other people feel about you, how other people think of you, the better the world will appear to you. Not by putting so much pressure on yourself to be this place or be in that place. Relax and fly like a bird. Just relax.
Relax, release.
Let go. Let go. Peace. Namaste. Breathe in some of that good ass prana. You know, prana is your life force. Yeah. That's going to be my closing. Breathe in some of that good ass prana and relax. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Feather Light. That was great. And thank you, Delta, for your hot topics. And
Great hot topic.
I say hot. Yes. And don't forget, we still have our action now with the young man at the school. We need to follow up on that and see what's going on. And, we need to stay on that case, especially when school comes back, because, what is that, Graham Park?
And he's been put out of school for 2 months. I forgot to tell y'all. I don't know. I saw it on Roland Martin. He had already, when I found the story, he had already been out for 2 months.
Wow.
Well, peace and good night, and we'll be back on Friday.
Namaste.